everybody, welcome to Disney's Magic Kingdom, and we are here today because I want to check out all the new construction progress for Cars Land and Disney Villains Land. It has been a little while since our last update and they have made a ton of progress. Today I'm hoping to get a look at all the new concrete and rebar that they've put up and get a little bit of a lay of the land. So if you are excited about these two new expansion areas coming to Magic Kingdom, this is going to be a great video for you. Well, it has been a while since I have been here to Magic Kingdom to check out the construction. We come here periodically, but I don't always do a construction update. And it's been a little while since we've taken a look. And I know they've made a lot of progress. And I've been doing a lot of videos about the Disney Villains Hotel, their plans for a hotel attached to Magic Kingdom. If you haven't seen that video, I will link to it below. Look at it. It's a really good video. It talks a little bit about the future plans for Magic Kingdom, and I also have a 2045 video that I just dropped. It talks a little bit about the next 20 years of Disney and all the things that they have planned. You're going to want to check those out. But I'm really excited to see what is going on over here, especially for Villains Land. I think Cars Land, or Cars area, they don't like to call it the land, Piston Peak, very excited. There's a lot of progress happening there. But moreover, the amount of space that they are clearing back there for Villains Land is really big. And they got some big plans for it. I want to start off our journey here today talking a little bit about the plans happening for the Haunted Mansion. You can see it is entirely covered right now with scrim. They're doing a lot of work on the Haunted Mansion. They're doing some refurbishment on the exterior of it. We talked about this before, that they filed a few permits to do work here on the Haunted Mansion and the surrounding areas of the Haunted Mansion. And they are exterior fabrication and painting permits specifically for firms to go in and do that. So this is not going to just be a light refurbishment. They're actually doing work on the back side of Haunted Mansion, which we can't see over here, but it's right around the back there because of the fact that they are going to be adding the Cars area, which is right over there on the other side of that awning. Right on the other side of that, which is why there's a wall there. You can see they used to be able to see through right here. And you got all the nice air and breeze and everything. Now they have these big fans and stuff trying to blow air because it's so stiflingly hot in there. But around the other side of that, that's where the Rivers of America is that they got rid of. Right around the bend here on the Haunted Mansion, they've started to do work here because there's a couple of things happening. Number one is once Cars area and Villains Land goes in, you're going to be able to see the backside of the Haunted Mansion. It's like the backside of water on Jungle Cruise. You're going to be able to see over there. There used to be a lot of trees and brush and stuff that covered it up, so they didn't do a lot of theming around that side of the Haunted Mansion. So now they got to fix that before they can finish Cars area and Villains Land. So that's one thing that they're doing. In addition, we think they may be expanding this sort of queue area over here and looking for a new space for the queue, because right now the Haunted Mansion, when the line gets along, especially the Lightning Lane, it typically extends all the way through the queue, all the way out there by the Columbia Harbor House, wraps around into Liberty Square, and I think they want to try and fix that. So they actually are doing work on the keelboat area there. There's the keelboat docks. You can see that building right over there. The keelboat docks, which is where they have been in the past, extending and having people wrap down in there. I think they're going to be doing some work in there. You can see the walls are up there as well to try to figure out how to improve this queue system, especially now that there's going to be work and going to be done over in the Cars area. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they pull this off, especially once the Cars area goes in. I believe right on the other side of this wall right here, instead of it being the Rivers of America water that used to be there, there will actually be a concrete pathway that goes through there. And then on the other side of that concrete pathway will be a smaller sort of river and a bunch of trees and mountainous type stuff that separates the barrier between Haunted Mansion, then that walkway, then Cars area. That's the way I'm seeing it come together in the concept art. So it'll be interesting to see if you can hear the noise from Cars area from the Haunted Mansion queue or not. I think maybe you're not going to hear it, to be honest. I think they've got the sound lines figured out the way I've been looking at the concept art with that pathway there. But now I want to walk down here a little bit further. So you can see the riverboat dock here still exists. That is still in the concept art, so I don't know that they're doing anything with that, at least not right now. I think it's just going to stay a building that's, I guess, unused until they maybe figure out something. Maybe it'll end up being like a meet and greet in here of some kind. That could be pretty cool, because this is not where the walkway will be. The walkway will actually start on the other side of this, curve in right there, and go up. So we'll see what they end up doing there. It's all walled off. And I want to go now down here and check out the Villains Land construction and the Cars area. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Okay, now this is where you can start to see a little bit of the work being done here. And you'll notice this dock is still here. This dock is not walled off. The wall starts on that side. This is kind of walled off here a little bit, but not really. But right here is where it starts, which shows me, because it's in the concept art, that this dock here is going to stay. This is going to end up being water again, just like it was when Rivers of America was here. So this would be a waterway, basically a smaller river. I think they're going to fill this back up, and it'll be not as wide of a river here. It'll go out a little bit past this wall right here, and then you'll see the land start. And there's actually a couple of pathways in to the Cars area. Cars area almost kind of becomes an island to itself. And there's a couple of walkways that will take you into Cars Land along that side over by Haunted Mansion. I don't really see any entrances over here by Splash Mountain for Cars area, but there may be one. I just don't see it anywhere. It's not shown on the concept art. So now we're about 3/4 of the way down this dock here, and as you can see, it's still going here. I'll go down here and look. You can see this again is where I believe the river will continue all the way up here to basically the end of this, where it meets Tiana's Bayou. Will still be water here. All right, we made it all the way up here by Tiana's Bayou. Harry, I have reached the top. Anybody know what that's from? Oh, come on. Home Alone, right? That's the way I feel, because I'm up here on the hill overlooking Villains Land, all the construction right here behind me. Let's take a look. Now we really can get a good view here of the construction that's happening. You can see this kind of mound that's happening. I've talked about this a little bit before. Let me just go right over there to the left a little bit more. You can kind of see it. You see how there's like a mound of dirt there where there's the portalets are on top. You've got some like shipping containers, if you will. And then right down below there, there's like this ditch. It like slants down there. That's where I think that's going to widen out a little bit, but they're building the river and the foundations for the mountainous type structures that are going to be there. And then the actual Cars area will be kind of sitting up on top of that in that little island up there, if you will. And you can see the construction cranes and stuff are going up right here. And they're starting to actually build some things. See if I can get a shot of that. Right here you can see the concrete has been poured. Look at that. Those are the walls for what will be Cars Land. So my anticipation there is there will be water on the near side of those concrete walls. Lots of brush and things, but that's going to be sort of the exterior surface. You're going to start to see the Cars attraction go up over in that area. But we have officially gone vertical. Look at all of that construction happening, those walls. But now let's take a peek right behind that to the left. Look at all that area. Let me just get a shot here and zoom in. We can see all that space back there. Look at it, sort of wraps around behind the Haunted Mansion. Let's get a shot. Haunted Mansion for our bearings here. There it is right there. You can see the wrap goes all the way around the back side of the Haunted Mansion, which we talked about. You got a little bit of trees. Then we go all the way there and we wrap behind the Haunted Mansion. Way over there to the left. Look at all that space that's been cleared out. You see those big concrete tubes back there. That. And those like plastic tubes, I guess are plastic. I don't know, metal, plastic. I can't tell from here. That's all space for villains way back there. I'm going to zoom in right here. This is to the right side, far right. You can see all the Frontierland there. Right there where that sort of wall ends, that's where those docks were we were walking on. Then right on the inside of that wall, you can see all these scaffolding pieces for where they're building the retaining wall for the water. So that's where that little river will run through that sort of separates Frontierland from the Cars area. Now let's go down here and talk a little bit about the wraparound space for where Thunder Mountain is and how the entrance to Cars area might look. So let's get our bearings. Here we go. Big Thunder Mountain. It's currently under refurbishment. It's going to be opening very soon. They've been testing it. They've got a lot of the effects on there, so we're going to see that open. But it's all walled off right now. But if you remember, right around to the right side of Thunder Mountain, it kind of wrapped around where that wall is. You can see the wall kind of wraps and curls around there. That's a walking path up to the exit of Big Thunder Mountain. And then to the right of that was always where the water was for Rivers of America. But now you can kind of see that there could potentially be an entrance right here from Frontierland into Cars area. I think that if there is an entrance on this side of Carsland, that's the only place it will be. And I think it's going to wrap all the way around as a pathway from Frontierland over to Haunted Mansion, where that pathway connects that we were talking about earlier. So almost like a curved pathway, if you will, that bridges these two areas together and basically creates an island, if you will, of Carsland in the center. It's possible there is no entrance there. There's definitely, at least as far as I can see, not any entrance on this side where Tiana's Bayou is. But I think we might get one right there. All right, now right here, this is kind of going to be hard to see. But you can, if you look really hard, right at the sort of below that crane or whatever that thing is, that drill or whatever it is. I'm not an expert on construction equipment. You can kind of see this like graded dirt right there that kind of goes down. It's right to the left of that building. That building right there is the riverboat, where the loading for the riverboat was. Right to the left of that, there's this graded path you can see they're starting to put in place, which is where I'm saying is going to be the pathway. But that's the start of the pathway between Cars area and the Haunted Mansion area. So that pathway will go right alongside that wall that you see right there and become that path. And then if we look really hard right over there, you can kind of see in that gap where that between those trees, you can barely make out the back show building of Haunted Mansion. Which if Walt Disney saw that today, he'd probably be dying because he really wanted. That's one of the best hidden show buildings in all of Walt Disney World. You can barely see it peeking through, but that's to be understood because they're in the middle of construction. But you can tell they're working in that area, and they're definitely going to be working to figure out how to cover that up because they don't want. I mean, that's where I think that's why that giant mound of dirt is over there. But you can see right there because they're going to want to cover. They want to keep that completely covered up so you don't see the show building for the Haunted Mansion. You'll still be able to see the backside of the Haunted Mansion building, which is what they're improving, so it fits thematically, but they don't want you seeing that show building over there. Okay, so that is the update. Man, a lot of stuff's happened since the last time I was here. They have moved so much dirt around, and they're starting to go vertical and building things. I feel like they're moving pretty quick on this Cars area and Villains area. I think they're ready for it space-wise. But again, I think they've made some adjustments to their plan recently, which might push the date out for that a little bit. But the car stuff is coming along, which is really nice because there hasn't been a lot of movement on anything at Disney for several years now, and it looks like they've kicked it into high gear, and we're getting all kind of good stuff coming really quickly. Tropical Americas is coming along. The Encanto building is like huge. It's already been built. The Monsters Inc. land area, that's coming along. Tons of scaffolding over there. I got a little bit of a shot. I'll throw that in right now. So they are moving on all these projects, and they're moving quick. So I am excited for the next couple of years here. But we'll see if it all pays off and ends up being as amazing as it looks in the concept art and think what we're thinking in our minds. So anyhow, that's the construction update here at Magic Kingdom. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you ready? Are you excited that they're finally moving? Love to hear from you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content. Until I see you next time, the Noble Way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.